viewers, good morning, obedient family. Welcome to another exciting, sweet jollof part of Possible Nigeria. And you know what we do on our inside Obidati Family TV with the runner. We give you updates about politics and how they be. And today we're gonna discuss many things. But you know, say I'm not there alone for this show. I am Jamie Dejoy, and with me is Ibe Shooks.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joy. And of course, the show is Possible Nigeria, where we'll get to discuss the Nigeria of our dreams and the possibility of achieving it. And today we're looking at the role of youths in this forthcoming election, this February 25th election. And of course, the role they will also be playing, or they could be playing, in a P2B led administration. And we're having a guest today on the show. We're having a guest based in Lagos, Mr. Ayomide Ojo, a very ardent, obedient supporter based in Lagos. And we're going to be discussing this very subject with him with regards to the role of youth in the forthcoming election and, of course, the role they could be playing in a P2B-led administration. All right, Mr. Ayomide Ojo, welcome to the show. Can you hear me? Yeah, it's good to have you. Okay. You're a very fervent, obedient supporter based in Lagos. And of course, Lagos is a very pivotal area when it comes to deciding, who gets to be on the seat of the presidency of this very country come, I think that should be April, inauguration time or that. So let's look at the youths in this forthcoming election. What role do you think the youths could play with regards to the forthcoming election?
All right, thank you so much. First and foremost, as youths in Nigeria today, one thing that we've heard since we were kids is that, okay, we are the leaders of tomorrow. That has always been something that, okay, even a child is still hearing it today. But right now, it is obvious that we have not been the leaders of tomorrow. The so-called leaders of tomorrow are the ones who have become hallelujah boys for politicians today. And now it is the time for the youth to, take the bull by the horn. Right now, the youth participation has to increase. And that is the reason why I'm so glad that youth have woken up now. We have woken up and we have decided that, okay, no, we have to make sure we have a president who is, of course, a people-powered president. And looking at the electorates that we have, looking at the number of registered voters that we have right now, we have a very high percentage of youth, that will be voting this time around. We have a high percentage of people that have not voted before since independence. People that were born after 1999, they're also going to be voting. So right now, we have to take advantage of our numbers to make sure that, okay, we put that man who has the people in his heart, who is, people, permit me to use it that way, people centric, who has the people in mind and who is willing to do the will of the people, not like, the people that have been ruling us in the past who keep recycling themselves to make sure that they get into the offices and, putting their stooges there. So right now we have to, the first thing that we have to, that we must have in mind is that we are the real CEOs of Nigeria. We are the ones that own Nigeria. And now it is a time for us to get into power. We are the ones that have the brain. We are the ones that really understand what it takes to, run a country of the 21st century. This is 2023. We understand what it takes out there to, make a country run properly. And now, once we get into power, the knowledge that we have accumulated, our experience out there to the outside world, we'll be able to use our energy to be able to drive the economy, to drive the country forward. Thank you.
Okay, just to prompt more explanation from what you already explained, I want to ask you this question. It is being said, or not being said, I think it's clear that this is the very first election where you have active participation of the youth in an election. Like you already stated, we will have youth with almost a very large number of very large number of registered votes with regards to this forthcoming election. I want to ask you, what do you think is the reason why we are having a lot of young people coming out to participate in an election or coming out to participate in deciding leaders that will govern this country?
Okay, so there is this tweet from a woman that I saw, sometimes last year. It says, if you do not do politics, politics will do you regardless. So if you do not participate, if you do not participate as a person, as a citizen in governance, there is no way, you wouldn't have the right to say you want to criticize the government, because, right now, what I've been telling people around me is that, okay, let's say, one of these Naira, Naira redesign policy that just happened of late, there is nobody that can tell me that this is not affecting him. So far, you are in Nigeria right now. Even if you are not in Nigeria, your people are complaining to you. You are having to think about them every now and then. So if you are not participating, if you are not putting somebody that you feel is going to do right there, whatever you get at the end of the day, you just have to take it like that. And that is one of the reasons why we have to make sure there has to be active participation now. We have, I was at home in December in Osun State. I grew up in Ilesha, Osun State. And there is a friend of mine who is a graduate. But right now, because he doesn't have a job, he's into, bike, rides bike. And, I was not pleased. Not that I didn't feel sad for him really, but at the end of the day, when I thought about it, I still wasn't really happy, because this is somebody I know who is, very smart. We grew up together back then in secondary school, and now the hardship has made him to start doing, that kind of business. So right now, this is the time. We have to, be considerate. We have to look at our future and decide that, okay, this, for us to have a better future, we have to be very deliberate on the people we put there. We have to put people who have capacity, competence, and character in office. So when we do this, we can be sure. And let me add this. All my life, I've always, at a point in my life, I got to learn that leadership, everything rises and falls on leadership. When you have a leader who knows what he is doing, who has the 3 C's that I just mentioned, competence, capacity, and character, you are sure, you are on the right path to having a good governance. You are definitely going to have good, a very good example is the president of Zambia, who came in 18 months ago. And we have been able to see measurable achievements, things that you can measure and say and point out that, okay, it is because we have a good leader with the right mindset and attitude. And that is the reason why we have this improvement that we can all see now. So everything rises and falls on leadership. And that is why we have to say, government or governance is not rocket science. And once we get it right in the area of leadership, we can be sure to say, yes, we have gotten it right in our governance.
That's well said. That's very well said. All right, Mr. Ayomide Ojo. My colleague wants to ask you a question, Joy.
Yeah, Mr. Ayomide Ojo, thank you once again for coming to the show. But I'll ask you this question now, okay? Say normally all of us will say Peter Obi, with a clown for Peter Obi, they shout Peter Obi, anywhere we go, Peter Obi, you understand? But before now, we say the Labour Party, we're not today familiar with the party now new one. Shebi, you understand? Now, suddenly everybody can begin the toilet for Peter Obi, toilet for Labour Party and everything. Now, I want to ask you, at what point you take get the message, say, at what point you take convince yourself, say, if not be Peter Obi, say now only Peter Obi be the credible candidate for this 2023 election, and now only Peter Obi now go fit sit down for that presidential seat where everybody they look up to.
Okay. My pidgin is quite rusty, so but I will try.
You can speak English. You can answer in English. Go ahead.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, so the time, the day was 2016. It was in 2016. I was preparing to go for youth service. Then I ought to have gone earlier in the year, but due to some issues from school and NYSC, I couldn't go. And I listened to this man, on the platform. I possibly heard of his name before that time, but I never really knew him. And I heard, Peter Obi, he was addressing us at the platform, the platform 2016. And I was wowed. I was wowed on that day that, okay, who is this guy? Do we have a politician like this? The understanding of politician that we have in Nigeria is far from what this man is, depicting, what this man is showing us here. And then that day I was like, okay, no, I have to know more about this man. And since that day, 2016, I started following the man. And I made up my mind that, okay, one day this man is definitely going to become our president. I mean, like, and I started following since then. 2019 came, and he became the running mate to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. And I was like, okay, yes, this is a good opportunity to support this man. I voted for Atiku back then because of him. And yeah, I mean, like, we still, I would say we did well, but, as it would happen, Atiku did not win, the election. And so that's to tell you that's, to in one way answer your question, that in 2016, that was the time that I got convinced that, okay, yes, I'm going to follow this man, because he is even someone that I see as a role model, looking at his personal life, looking at the way he carries himself and all of that, looking at his, response to people, his attitude. You can say, yes, that you see yourself in this kind of a person. Is somebody that would not hold grudges. I saw a comment, a skit some days, okay, that was even just yesterday, how that, his opponent will be expecting that he insults them when they, insult him. He would still, go back and tell you, my respected senior brother, in his words. So yeah, I made up my mind long ago that yes, I'm going to support this man. And back, early about a year ago, we were still talking about it, that okay, if this man, even if he declares that he wants to run from end of the year party, we are going to follow him. When PDP were, when those people in PDP were misbehaving, I said it. I was one of those people that said, if it is end of the year party or Christmas party or any party, let's just have party, we are going to follow him. So, it's never been in question of who to follow. He is the one who has the competence. He is the one who has, the empathy. If there is one thing that you want to take away from me, that I want to take home from Peter Obi, it is that empathy. Somebody who feels, what you are feeling. Somebody who cares. Somebody who, even when he was not aiming to be a governor, would always do humanitarian service, would always, travel outside Nigeria, travel across Nigeria, Kogi, Sokoto. We have all the pictures out there on the internet of how he has, helped a lot of people, how he has donated materials to them. So what are we saying here? When you're talking about people that should want to govern, you look at the antecedent. When you're talking about antecedent, Peter Obi has it. Okay, well, let's even now say, let's say everybody has clean slate. That, okay, they do not even have antecedents. It is still Peter Obi, because yes, when you look at his character, when you look at his, demeanor, if you look at his attitude, his mindset, you understand that, okay, this is the kind of personality that we need to be in Aso Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I want to ask you more like a personal question, Mr. Ayomide. You are from the West, you are origin of the West. And of course, a lot have been said about this, election, of course, the candidature of Peter Obi. Of course, Nigeria will always be divided on the tribal line, which we are hoping that one day we're going to sort that out as a nation. I want to ask you, what's prompted you? Is almost a similar question. Or why did you, as someone from the West, why are you supporting a candidature from the East? On what grounds, or what are the morals that prompted you to support a candidature that is coming from the East in the person of Mr. Peter Obi? How did you breach? How were you able to come out from that tribal line or cross that tribal line to pitch your support with someone from the East?
All right, thank you for that question. So it's all about doing the right thing. We say we are one Nigeria. We refer to ourselves as citizens of Nigeria. If I look at my passport right now, yeah, maybe my name might be a bit different from yours. Maybe, I might have been given birth to in the Southwest. But when we look at it at the end of the day, we are all Nigerians.
Yeah.
When I go outside the country, they will refer to me as Nigerian. I am not, nobody is going to say, okay, that guy is, maybe somebody that has been exposed to what is happening in Nigeria will be able to say, okay, this guy is actually from a southwestern part of Nigeria. So, but one thing is clear here. We are meant to do the right thing. We are, this ethnic division, religious, bigotry thing that, that is reigning today. It is something our politicians have used to try to divide us, they are, they don't care. They prefer to have divide and conquer kind of thing. They don't mind being the king of ashes. They just want to divide us and make sure they become the leaders. They become, they get into those offices by all means. So that is one of the tactics that they have used in the past. So, for me, yes, Peter Obi is a proud Igbo man. I am a proud Yoruba man, but I see every one of us as Nigerians. And it is all about putting somebody that has the ability in office. Am I going to drink poison, because my, somebody from my tribe is serving it? No, I'm not going to just, tolerate evil because it's somebody, because it's somebody from my tribe. I have to do the right thing. I have to look at criteria that, okay, that somebody who is supposed to be a leader should have, and make sure that I make my judgments based on that. So, if you are talking about even, selection, talking about who should be the next to lead, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to go into that, but really, this is Peter Obi has a right to brag on that. He has a right to claim to want to run because of that. But he has said it countless times that he is not running because he is an Igbo man. He is running because he is desperate to see a Nigeria that works. And that is what we should be after. So when people talk about Omale, bastard, all this kind of thing, I don't even listen to them really, because I don't see myself as an Omale because I'm not supporting one Emilio Khan. Because I am an Omoluabi. Omoluabi is someone of virtue, somebody that has virtue. And we have people that are even bigger in the Yoruba race who have declared support for this man. So I should rather listen to those people as an Omoluabi and forget what those other people are saying as regards Omale. And that is what it is. That is what it is really. I made a post on it, 1st of January. I had that, okay, Afenifere and Obasanjo have endorsed Peter Obi. These are the people that we would listen. We should listen to these people more. These people are, revered in the Southwest more than, who I'm talking about. So we should listen to them. So if you don't listen, I made a joke that if you are not listening to those people as a Yoruba man now, or you're a Yoruba person, you should be the one to be called Omale. So I've never accepted that. Some Yoruba people will say they are accepting the appellation, but me, I am not accepting it really. I am accepting the Omoluabi tag, not Omale tag. Thank you.
I think, Mr. Ayomide, people like you are people that should proudly wear the tag patriotic Nigerian. That's a whole lot of patriotism coming from you. And I want you to still stick around with us just a few bits. We'll go on a very short break, come back. Then I have one question for you. And of course, my colleague have one question for you before we allow you to go on the show. Please just stick around. We'll be back shortly, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, this is still Obidate Family TV. And of course, the show is still The Possible in Nigeria. And I'm still Ibe Chuks, and still here with
Jimmy the Joy.
And we've had Mr. Ayomide Ojo join us live via Zoom, and he's been speaking on the participation of youth in this forthcoming election, and of course, the possible role they will be playing in a Peter Obi-led administration. We'll go on a very short break, and we'll be back shortly.
Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party. Can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party. Can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party. Never say, Mama, Papa, no one. Labour Party, Mama, Papa, no one. Never say, Mama, Papa, no one. Labour Party, Mama, Papa, no one. Labour Party.
Mr. Peter Obi's administration built from scratch Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital with 25 building structures. His government funded transformation of massive infrastructural development, accreditation of 12 health institutions and 2 hospitals, and also built 10 maternal and childcare centers across the state. He is the first governor to purchase medical equipment worth over 135 million naira and 50 ambulances for the health sector in Anambra State, which remain functional till today. He built and equipped Dr. Jonwilo Heart Center in St. Joseph Hospital, Adazi-Nnukwu, where heart operations are performed. Anambra State is the first state in Nigeria to distribute more than 30,000.
All right, welcome back. This is still Obidati Family TV, and of course, the show is still Voting Labour Party, and I'm still Ibe Chooks, of course.
Jamie the Joy.
And we still have Mr. Ayomide Ojo live on Zoom. And Mr. Ayomide, thank you for your patience. Thank you for being on the show. We'll quickly ask you 2 more questions, one from my colleague Joy.
Okay, Mr. Ayomide, thank you for staying with us. Quickly, I want to ask you, say all of us, we don't buga, we don't swell up the wait for this 2023 election. And in less than 10 days, we're going to run, they go cast our vote. Not just all of us, not just us. The whole country, we're going to go into general election. I know say this election not be a year election, not be family election. Now this kind of election, now they determine the country, the future of the country and the fate of the country. Now I want to ask you personal, with all the things that we don't do, both youths, everybody don't put together, we don't arrange for this upcoming election, this 2023 election. What will be your fate for the election? What will be your fate for this election?
Okay, so because my own conviction has never been based on, whatever we have been hearing out there, propaganda, allegations, and all of that. Peter Obi is not going to be, getting the tickets in PDP, blah, blah, blah. So it is very simple. One thing we have to understand is, as somebody who is in business, and I've been involved in, strategies and all of that too. One thing that is very key when it comes to business is, as somebody who has product, if you have a very good product that is well positioned at the right time, you can be sure that product is going to sell. I mean, anywhere, just anywhere. Peter Obi is a product that is going to sell in and outside Nigeria. Peter Obi is a product that is going to sell in the south, in the west, in the east, and in the north. Everybody knows the good thing when he sees it. You and I, we know the good thing. We can all see it. We see the difference. You can see it. It's only if you want to be deceiving yourself. It's only if you want to be living in denial. So definitely, Peter Obi is a market that can sell in the north. I'm emphasizing north now because that is what they always try to tell us, that Peter Obi is not going to have acceptance in the north. Are they not hearing what everybody is hearing? Are they not seeing what everybody is seeing? So why say, he's not going to be accepted in the north? So I, for one, I have been saying it since around June, that Peter Obi is going to be winning this election by a landslide. So what I've been telling people is just to make sure that we all come out to vote. Once we come out in our numbers, we can be sure that this man is going to win this election by a landslide. So what I've been doing basically is to make sure that I encourage everybody around me. As at maybe June, July, I was trying to educate people that, those guys, the odds were in their favor, in quotes. They might even, talking about rating it over 10. I was using the example that Tinubu could even be 7 over 10. Atiku may be 6 over 10. Peter Obi may be 2 over 10. But it is the responsibility of you and I to add our 0.00001 to this 2 over 10. Once we keep adding this 0.001 all around Nigeria, we can be sure that Peter Obi is going to overtake this place with these people and get to 8 over 10, 9 over 10, and possibly 10 over 10 at the end of the day. So it is just our responsibility as youth now to go out there en masse on election day and make sure we cast our vote and defend our vote and make sure the votes are counted before we leave. I, for one, I am going to be at the ward on that day. So I am not, I am not leaving. The day is not over for me until I get, the result for my own ward on that day. So, Peter Obi again is going to be winning this election by a landslide because, yes, he is the one that has the best message. And there is one major key principle. Let me mention this. There's a key principle that Peter Obi has been operating. I am a Christian. I'm a believer. There is a scripture that says, the just, it says faith comes by hearing. Faith comes by hearing. Peter Obi has operated this principle. Once you keep hearing a thing, you develop faith in that thing. You develop faith in it. Peter Obi has made sure he appears in every occasion that he has been called to come and address the people, he has spoken everywhere. He has, there was a time I started telling people that I don't even want to hear Peter Obi talk again, because all the questions he has answered them, and even I've heard the same response over and over and over again. So the mistake this political class, the establishment, made was to allow Peter Obi access to the masses. Of course, they wouldn't have been able to do anything about that. Once that message kept getting to people, the message was getting to everybody in the nook and cranny of Nigeria. That was the end game for them. That was the end of the game for them. So we kept hearing the message. So, as I said, faith kept coming as we were hearing and listening to Peter Obi. So tell me, the dumbest of person anywhere in the world, when he or she listens to Peter Obi, he is just going to be drawn. Is everybody, you are going to be naturally. I told you about how that was just only one encounter that I had with Peter Obi, and then I changed my mind that, okay, yes, this man, I made up my mind that this man is going to become our president one day. So the same thing is out there. If you can get, and that's the reason why I'm glad that, when I saw a video that one day, in Ladipo Market, how, Peter Obi's video was being played, that was his interview at Berekete Radio rather, with the ordinary president. There was this point, I made a comment that day that if people listen to the part where he went into the, there was this flood, and then he went into the flood to go and rescue a man that had given up. That there is no way you hear things like that and you will not be drawn to him. There's no way you will hear, him going to Southern Borno that people have neglected over the years. He went there and said, okay, Nigerians are living there. Do you know the import, the weight of that statement? Nigerians are living there. If Nigerians are living there, then I should be able to go there and feel what the people are feeling. So, for me, I've never been in doubt. And I'm giving you sincere answer now. I've never been in doubt. I know that he is the best product that we have out there. You don't even have to be comparing. You don't have to be using, superlative term now. He's just the good candidate. He is the good product that we have. Forget about any other thing that you can see out there.
Wow, that's very insightful, Mr. Ayomide. Thank you so much. One more question before we allow you to go on the show, because it's been a pleasure. I want to ask, there is a rumor, flying or making waves on social media that the Labour Party structure in the West has collapsed into the APC. I don't know if you've heard this rumor and how true it is.
I have heard the rumor, and I have right before me a press release from Dr. Arabambi Abayomi. And, I will just go to the last part. It says that we strongly make it clear to the general public and well-meaning, long-suffering citizens of Nigeria to disregard any information from the said Mr. Banji Omotosho, who has since ceased to be a member. So that is to tell you that, okay, all these allegations were just, are just things coming from, people who are possibly on the other side, but trying to distract us. I saw a video, Peter of P-Square. It was, he quoted a tweet, this morning. He saw, there's this video of, people tearing Labour Party card. And I saw it and I laughed. And I was like, okay, anybody, I can just employ people out there, go and print Labour Party card. Just keep, start tearing, with anger, anger in quotes, and have it on a video, circulate the video just to demoralize people. See, the obedient movement is a decentralized thing. It is decentralized. Nobody has, total control over anything that is happening. The movement is beyond Peter Obi himself. He knows that. He knows. So there is nothing of such. Nobody is going to control us. Nobody is going to tell us what to do. Whatever you want to do, I will still go there that day, cast my vote, defend my vote, get the result, follow them to the word, and get the final result of my word. Everybody should just, put away their fear, no worries, no fears. Just make sure you go and cast your vote. There is nothing of such. Peter Obi is a Labour Party. Southwest, as citizens, as obedient, we are supporting him. The whole of Labour Party Southwest is also right behind Peter Obi, as stated in the press release that I just, read to you now. It's a long, it's a full page anyway, but I just chose to, focus on the last statement made by Dr. Arabambi Abayomi. So that is it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ayomide Ojo. It's been a very educating ride, I will call it, with you. And, you stating your support and, of course, your passion to make Nigeria better by making sure that we put credible leaders in the proper posts or positions come this election we're about to conduct. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayomide. You're a very ardent obedient there in Lagos. I want to encourage you to keep spreading the gospel and, of course, to never be discouraged, just like you're encouraging other people. Thank you so much for making our time to join us.
Thank you so much. And I would like to, tell everybody out there to keep the fire burning. It's just 10 days to go. This is crunch time. For me, I've not been involved in baseless arguments. Before I used to do that, like, maybe some weeks ago, but I have stopped. There is no need. The time now is to focus on the election and the election matters alone. And if you still have people that you can convince around you, convince them. And right now, we are focusing, just like our principle is never distracted. We must not be distracted at this point. Thank you so much, Ibe.
Sure. Thank you so much. Do have a great week. Do have a great day, rather.
Yeah, thank you so much. You too have a great day.
All right. All right, this is still Obidati Family TV right here. The show is still The Possible Nigeria. And you just listening to Mr. Ayomide Ojo, a very ardent, obedient supporter right there in Lagos. And I think it's something awesome to see people from other tribe, because there are people who try to play the tribe game, with regards to this election. And I've seen people from other tribe being so passionate, because these guys understand Nigeria, understand the need to save Nigeria, and they've been so passionate about this election, and of course the right candidature of this election, which is Peter Obi. And you can see them, wanting there are people to understand that this election is not based on tribe. It's not based on "it's my turn" or based on
at all,
but based on credibility and competence.
At all. And you're talking about the youth involvement and everything. Normally, before now, say our opposition party that they make us understand, say this our movement, this our movement and show off social media stuff and the rest. But youth can't make them understand, say, we will not be show off, we not they do show off. Sure. We not be emoji. The one you see for social media now, the same us day life. Yeah. We not be emoji. So the youth we don't do many things. Concerning this election, we don't do many things because we believe, say, we don't see somebody like say don't come outside. That's the way we understand we as youth. That's the way they see we get our interest. Before we even talk, come outside, say, they don't know what they talk. We know they cry. We know they talk loud. They don't understand. We see situation like say in they go the last time when they did Adamawa State, he talked to youth. He tell them, say, this is the time like say you won't give them full attention, because if you give youth full attention, he believes say those criminal stuff and everything we youth they do go stop. Now we don't say this na person will come outside, don't give us hope. We know see na talk they talk like Ayomi they talk. If person they talk something, he talk am once, he talk am twice, he talk am 3 times. What happen? You will get here. The today your ear. You supposed hear now. So he don't talk am once, he don't talk am twice, don't talk am again. We don't believe, and we believe say Peter Obi na for us. Peter Obi na for the youth. He don't come outside to make a possible Nigeria.
Yeah, and we believe that will happen. And we are urging every youth out there to make sure that you participate effectively in this forthcoming election. If you have a PVC, there should be no reason why you shouldn't go out and vote. And don't be discouraged by anybody trying to create a nuisance or try to cause a scene or maybe posing a threat or anything. This election will be free and fair, and your security is maximally guaranteed. So go out there and cast your votes, protect your vote, and make sure that your votes are being counted. On that note, it's been a very wonderful show. Thank you for being part of the show. The Possible Nigeria. My name has been Ibe Chooks, and of course, I've got
Jamie Dejoy.
Yeah, right here with me. And we'll be here again tomorrow, possibly. Hopefully, Kamsi will be here tomorrow to, of course, anchor the show as always. Thank you for being there. Don't forget, you can also follow us on all our social media platforms, on Twitter, Facebook, and of course, we are on YouTube Live and, of course, also live on TikTok. And if you want to be part of what we are doing here in the studio, go ahead and contact us. You have our numbers on your screen, or you can send us a DM on any of the platforms, and our team will definitely reach out to you. Yeah. And Joy, it's time to go.
Yeah, for today we'll call it a day.
Yeah, we'll be here for updates, tomorrow. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys, stick around.